Hey guys, I'm Corey and this is 251 Designs. Today we're going to be working on a couple little projects. As you saw in the thumbnail, it's a Harbor Freight slash Vevor slash whatever else weld table. So, or fabrication or whatever you want to call it, table, fixture table. We got quite a few things to go on it. It's about 4 or 5 different things. And we're going to start with grabbing it and pulling it out of the corner because it normally sits in my corner. So let me go get it. All right, there that is. Well, with this fixture table, it doesn't really have a whole lot of storage space, and it doesn't have as many things, I guess, versatility-wise as it could. It is cheap. They do work as long as you're not sitting there prying and pulling and trying to clamp things down with all the force you possibly can. This is a good little table to have to practice weld, to put things together. A almost perfectly flat surface. And for the money, you can't beat it. But in my shop, it is a 30 by 32, but I like to move things off to the side because I do get cars in and out a lot, and I do have bigger projects that come in and I deal with them. So I like to move my tables, my welders, everything out of the way. So having wheels or casters on there is one of the biggest things. And that's what's in this box. So we got casters here. That's gonna be our first little project. Next little project is we have these right here, which are pegboards, little metal pegboards. These are a little bit more expensive from Lowe's because Home Depot didn't have the pegboards I wanted. These are 16 by 16. You can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. Home Depot is like 10 bucks. These are 13, and these have little fasteners and stuff, which you're not going to use, but it is what it is. So we got these. I got a magnet from Harbor Freight. That's one other thing I'm going to put on here, as well as this little 3/4 inch or inch by inch by 1/8 bar. So we're going to use that for putting our grinders and stuff like that on, so we don't have to keep moving them out of the way, as well as some of our fixture stuff. Got a little MIG torch magnet, which we don't have to build anything. It's done. It sits right there. That goes out of the way. We got all these little attachments for our pegboards. We're gonna make them kind of semi-permanent, and they're gonna be for different things as of grinding wheels and other tools and whatnot. We have these little baskets that go to the pegboards as well, and these are gonna come in handy, and you'll see why. I like these. And then, another thing I saw on somebody else's video is they put a vise, a detachable vise in their table, and so that's what we're going to do with this. It was cheap from Harbor Freight, and so might as well do something else with it. I've got one vise, might as well have 2, especially a modular one that you can put in and out, and you can make other tools with it as well. We'll go over that later, but we're going to get this and we're going to create a few things for it. I did forget to mention that I'm also going to make a shelf on the bottom of this and use a couple tools. I got a new press in from Harbor Freight today, so I'm gonna have to build that, but it's gonna come in use on what I'm gonna do for the bottom shelf, and I like it, so we'll see how that works out. We gotta use the plasma. You can either order stuff or just use hand tools or hand plasmas, but I'm gonna use my CNC plasma, and we're gonna get some stuff done with that. So first, let's start with our casters right here, and we'll look at them and we'll get them on this table. So this little awesome Amazon kit was like 27 bucks or something like that. These casters come with the threads or studs, as you would call them, on top, and they're, I think, 10 by 1.5, so that's what you have to order. These also come with brakes, so you can brake them, and they're all swivel. There's 4 of them in here. There's, looks like wooden threaded hardware, which we don't need, but we got nuts in there. And then we got these cool little wrenches that look like they were made for kids, and so they'll probably end up in my daughter's toolbox. So, but hey, Chinese, Amazon, it works. So let's get these out of the bags and let's slap them on. All right, well, as you see, these just screw in. So I'm gonna unscrew these. They're pretty long. And we're gonna get these casters on, so let me do that. Well, casters are on. It rolls around fantastic. They have the brakes. Lock it, doesn't move anywhere. Unlock it somehow. There you go. So that works. Of course, the table's not going to be level with this unless you put it level on the surface, as of getting a level out and messing with the depth of the studs in there. But it makes it a little bit taller, which is a disadvantage, but at the same time, you have the ability to move it out of your way and everything else. So that's upgrade one. Let's get to the next one. One of my next upgrades is a MIG torch holder. It's a magnetic one from Harbor Freight. Goes along with everything. There you go. It's on there, and this thing doesn't move very easily. It's a pain in the butt to move, but it's on here, so I can move it around or place it wherever I want for my TIG and MIG, and that is a nice upgrade due to the factor of you never have a place to put your MIG gun. Well, now I do. So we're gonna move on to the next little upgrade, because that one's just an easy thing. Just anybody can do that. You just buy it and throw it on there. Yeah, let's get to the next one. My next one is this vise. So this is a hefty vise. The best way I could possibly say that we're gonna do this is on one of these corners. Heck, we could put it in the middle. I don't care, because I'm trying to figure this out towards where I would want it. Because you can't really put it on this side because it's top heavy and there's not a whole lot of weight holding it from tipping this way. Now, if it was to tip this way, that'd be a whole lot of weight over there. But we are gonna put it back a little bit. And so it's probably gonna be either right there or right there. Might put it back here just a little bit further back, just to make sure that the vise doesn't want to tip it. So this is an old receiver hitch. You can order an entire kit for this off Amazon. I'll put it in the link in the description below. But I already had this for another project, which it is now being used for this. As well as I had some 2x2 1/4" tubing, and that's gonna be the base. We're gonna cut it to length. It's kind of been sitting in the corner of my shop. So first, we need to determine where we're gonna put this. And it looks like the whole entire thing may fit within the circles of the table. I might need just a little trim on the outside, or I'll just flatten these out a little bit more to where it fits. But I want it to go flush with this table, and I might have to create another bar just to make sure it holds it in there nicely. That's why I kind of want it right here, because then I can put a bead right on this other piece right here. This little bar right here, but we'll determine that in a minute. I think that's where we're going to put it, is right in the center. So we're going to get the plasma out. We're going to cut this out. The other thing is, I don't have a base because I have my plasma tool, my CNC plasma. My CNC plasma is lined up, ready to go to cut some 1/4" plate. I have the program in the computer. I spent time doing that not too long ago. It's not that difficult. I can show you. Very simple. A couple squares, a couple elongated holes. We're good. I'm just praying it fits. With that, you can order that whole kit with the hitch and all that off Amazon for about 40 or so bucks, maybe, or maybe a little bit more. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out, and we're gonna look at doing this as well, and we're gonna do it right there. So let's start this. All right, so we have our program right here. It's connected to the crossfire. Boop. All right, connected to the crossfire. We're gonna zero everything out and go down to vise. All right, there we go. There that is. This is 7.5 inches up, and this is 7 inches wide right here. So 7.5 inches up, 7 inches wide. A little bit bigger than 1/2 inch holes, and they're slotted. Also filleted the corners so they're not all sharp edges. All right, we got air now, so we're gonna start again. There we are. Well, I took the wrong measurements, so as you see, I cut those holes and then I tried to cut up here, and there's not enough meat, as you see. So we did it again, got a little bit of dross. Go this way. So, a little dross, it'll come off pretty easy. So we'll just throw a quick sand on this and all this will clean up, and we're gonna see if it fits the vise after it cools down a little bit. And once that happens, we'll draw some lines, and then we'll take the 2" by 2" 1/4 inch and weld it to the plate in the middle, and go from there with mounting it to the table over there. Well, some projects go. It didn't work out too well for me, but all these holes, they didn't line up. So this one hangs over a little bit, and these two are completely off. But good thing I got drill bits or a plasma. I'll probably just round that one off a little bit with the plasma, and that'll take care of that one. These two, I'm not sure yet. I might just cut them with the plasma. Just make them round. Not hard, not difficult. It's a lot quicker than trying to drill with a drill bit, and nobody's going to see them because they're going to be bolted to the vise, and it's never coming off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. We'll fix this problem. It's unfortunate because this plate is very pretty, and yeah, my measurements were just off a little bit. So it is what it is when you put it on a piece of paper and you don't have the stuff with you when you're designing it, but oh well. So I'm gonna fix this real quick and we'll get back to it. Well, to do this endeavor with my plasma cutter, so we got this ready to go to get cut there, there, and there. That's one I'm not worried about. And we got to cut this square out here. I have my Art Captain cut 50. It is a very simple design. 3 wires coming out, well, a hose and 2 wires coming out. You got your ground, you got your trigger control, and then you got your air right here. All right, you got your dial for your amperage, and a couple little preferences. Very simple. So if you are looking for something like this, something to cut, something to do anything with, this thing is magnificent. It helps to plug it up whenever you're going to use it. So I got to go do that. So hold on. All right, so right now we have it set for 35 amps. We're going to go up to 45 just because we're cutting 1/4 inch, and this should be doing pretty good. We got it on T2 for the trigger, and then current's good. Everything's good. So now we got our glasses, got our little wand. It's a little bit wonky and dirty, but this thing cuts no matter what. That's why I love it. That's why it's so dirty. I use it all the time. So let's cut these little holes out and make sure they work, and then we'll cut that out. We'll just do it all at once to get it done. So let's do that. All right, well, that almost fits in there. I just got to get the grinder out a little bit, clean up both sides, inside, outside, and it should just pop in there. Once it pops in there, we'll clean it up a little bit more, and we'll start welding it flush to this to where that plate sits right on top of it. And then we'll determine how to mount it to this bar right here a little bit so we can brace it. Even if it's just a couple tacks or anything else, just something to brace it to where it's not going back and forth. So let's clean this up. All right, well, we got this welded up, and we got that welded up. We just got to grind that down a little bit flush, and then I got to determine, like I said, still down here, what I'm going to do. But this is in. I'm happy with this. So now we just got to cut this off right about probably here. We fixed all the holes. It does fit in the bottom of the vise. Downside is I bought 3 bolts. I bought 2 different sizes of 3 bolts because I thought I had a 3 bolt vise. Nope, I got a 4 bolt. So we got this almost done. So we're gonna wait on this thing to cool down. We're gonna grind this down, and then we're gonna determine where to cut this. All right, well, we got all this ready to go. Welded, grinded down, cleaned up, everything's good to go. This is the depth I want. It's a little bit hot still. We're gonna cut these nuts off probably about right there once we get this all bolted up so they're not hanging over. Once bolted all up, like I said, I just want to cut these little threads off. If I can cut them off, that'll be good, and that'll give me about a 1/4 inch more drop. I cut this off a little long, so it should be okay, but I want this as close to the table as possible. I didn't want the thread sticking up this way either, so, but all in all, it looks pretty good. So we'll throw this in here and look at it. Well, if you get the kit for the trailer hitch, it should go in here pretty well, but you still have to weld your little 2x2 piece up here. But we figured it out on here, cleaned it all up. So it's on here, it's welded. All right, there we go. And this vise does move, so that is a good part. It has a little anvil part on the back for hammering, but yeah, I can put it sideways if I want to, or we can take this whole thing off and put it somewhere else for the time being. This is not a bad buy. It's not too expensive from Harbor Freight. I think this one was 50 or 60. No, this one I think was 100. I don't remember. This one had a lot of features. It's got the little pipe grips in there, and it's a 4.5 inch, so I really like it. All right, well, we have now braced the bottom with a little piece of metal, so that will not shift. And then we've cut off these. So we're good to go with that. Now I've got this other piece that I want to make into a grinder holder, as well as anything else. It's going to go up here like this. And we're just going to pop rivet it in. So just going to grab 2 pop rivets. We're using 1/4 inch pop rivets. They're pretty big and beefy. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to drill me some holes in here and drill me some holes in there and just pop rivet them in. Well, adding to my new equipment and whatnot to the shop, I've got a drill press. I haven't used it yet. It works. It's old as all get out, but I'm appreciative. So we're gonna slap this on here. We're gonna finish drilling this out. I drilled it with 1 so far right there, but that was a hand drill. I wanted to try this out. So we're gonna start using our new tools in the shop. Well, it worked, but it's a little complicated. These belts are a little loose. So every time it binds down a little bit, it decides it wants to give way to the drill, and it stops drilling. So looks like I've got some work in front of me to figure out how to make this thing better. All right, the next upgrade is able to hold your grinders and everything else. Next, on top of this, we're going to add this. This is a magnet. So this is going to hold stuff a little bit better up here as well. And once we put this up here, it should be good to go towards holding stuff in or any metal on it. The downside, if you're grinding up here, you're going to end up with metal shavings possibly stuck to it. It's the only downside. All right, now we got the magnet right there. Looking good. I'm not going to remove this little paper just because it makes it easier to wipe this stuff off. So, but there is paper right here that's taped on here, and yeah. But now you can take anything you want, put it right there. So I'm happy with that. All right. Now we got a few more things. Like I said, we got pegboards on the side and the bottom section, which is got to be cut out by my Langmeyer Crossfire. And we're just using scrap metal for it. It's actually old AC ducting material. So we're gonna do that. Let's get to it. Here's the design for it, right there, or like that. So it's got my logo, a couple spots, and we're gonna have to use a new tool once we get this done. So yeah, let me see how this is gonna look on the dry run, and once we see it on the dry run to make sure it fits in the metal itself, then we'll cut it out. All right, the dry run looks good, so we're gonna see how this works and we are going to take dry run off and we're going to hit start, and we hope this is going to work out. All right, well, this didn't come out perfect. As you see, I got a little lip right there. I'm not worried about that. I've got all my holes out that I wanted to get out. I've got my little logo right here that it didn't fully cut out because it was going kind of fast. And like I said, this is dirty metal and it's coated. It's really dirty, but I don't really care because the determination for this is just throwing stuff on. So you see how flimsy it is? It's just really thin gauge metal. Well, I have a dimple die right here, and that is what we're going to be doing next. It's dimple dyeing 10 of these holes, and it should make this a lot more rigid. If I have to, I'll make a little bar across the middle just to make sure this thing doesn't give at all. So if I can throw anything on it that's heavy, it's not just gonna fall straight through. So I'm gonna start dimple dyeing. So we got them all done. All we used is the impacts. Looks good. I enjoy these. They're expensive though. All right. Let's see if we can slide this down here real quick. Looks like my measurement was a little off. How'd that happen? All right. I don't like that. Weird. Measurement off. Oh well, it's down here, it's on. We'll put some bracing in it. It's gonna need it. It's gonna need it in the middle, and it's gonna need it on the sides. Well, for my mishap, I fixed it. I've got 2 braces in the middle, right here, and then 1 on each side. So that's fixed. Good thing for having scrap metal lying around. So we've got all that done. Got trash getting in places it doesn't need to be. All right, so we got our hangers, got our magnetic strip, got our casters, got our little trailer hitch right here for multiple things that we can use later, got our shelf. Now, we have our pegboard and accessories. So let's look at this. So there is a positive negative side to this. These are a little bit more expensive from Lowe's. They do come with bracketry and whatnot. They come with little inserts to where you can stack them on top of each other and make a whole wall if you want. And then they have little standoffs. I don't care for these standoffs, I don't need them, but they're not going to be in my way at all. I might can actually use them later, I don't know. The reason why we're using metal as well is it will hold up a whole lot better than actual foam peg, or what was that, cardboard pegboard, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to put it on the edges here like this. So there is a positive negative with all of this, and we're going to make it work. We're going to make this functional and make it clean and everything else. So I'm going to take these stickers off, and we're going to start looking at how we're going to do this. Kind of have an idea in mind, but we're going to make it happen. All right, well, we have a little lip right here I'm not too worried about. We'll flip that over. So we got these little tabs on the side. It kind of keeps this in line on the sides themselves. Up top, we have bolts right here. And what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut like a little circular hole in the top just for these to slide into these bolts and bolt it up to the top with that. The bottom section, I'm not sure if I want to create a lip or if I just want to weld these to the frame itself. I might just weld it because I'm not planning on taking this back off. And if I do, I just pop the welds and we go from there. It's quick, simple, and easy. So I'm gonna end up marking this right here and right here where these bolts come through. We're gonna cut back just a little bit and slide these on these bolts, tighten them down, and then we're just gonna tack really good, tack these things on the bottom and the sides. All right, so we bolted it up at the top, got it on both sides so it's solid. Then we just put a little bead right here and right here. It's pretty much in there. I don't see it flopping around, breaking or anything else unless I really take a beating to it. So it's on there. and it looks good. So it's holding a little bit sturdy on here, so this table is going to be a little bit less wobbly and everything else. I just got to get this other one on this side done, and yeah, then we should be done with those upgrades. So let me finish this and we'll get back to it. All right, well, here we are with the final product. We have a basket over here with all our little knickknacks of all the stuff for our table, which is little pipe things and extensions and all that, and the magnets. So we're gonna get some more stuff for that little basket. We've got our MIG holder right here. We've got our vise right here, this detachable. I like just sticking these in here. I like having a flat surface in the back. So what I do. Anyway, got our shelf down here, and it is very sturdy, so we can put our vise on top of it if we would like. Come around here, we have some extra little holders. I don't really like these long ones. I bought these long ones and I don't really care for them. They might go on my other pegboard. We have another basket right here with all our pens and chalk and everything else. Then we have the little, I don't know what you would want to call them, I guess holders. But we got all our little grinding discs and stuff on them. And we got to make them more permanent because of that. I don't like how they just pop off. So we are going to make them more permanent in a different aspect. We have our magnet, holds all our stuff. These hold up pretty well on the magnet somehow, even though they're all aluminum. Then you have the place for your grinders. So, as well as you can move it around. I don't have to drag it out every time I want to use it now. Yeah, I'm ecstatic. So yeah, now I've got me a little fab table to go along with my other stuff that I have in here for fab and everything else. Yeah, hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully this gets you motivated to kind of do some stuff. You don't have to have a welder, but if you need one, you can get one for cheap. You can either get you a Harbor Freight little MIG 170. The only thing I don't like them for is thin metal. It doesn't do good with thin metal. It can't get the wire out the way it needs to. It just doesn't run right. You also have the MIG 145 Pro from Art Captain, which is under 300 bucks. Actually, I think it's even less than that. I think it's under 250. And then if you need cutting stuff, they're Art Captain Cut 50. There's going to be a link in the description below for 5% off. Click that and it'll help you get your stuff like you need. But we got our Vulcan table, our Vulcan weld cart, which has all my stuff on it, even my Best Arc plasma cutter, which you see in another video. So yeah, but if you have any questions, concerns, or anything else, shoot them down below in the comments. Give me a like if you think this actually helps you out at all. I'm ecstatic about this. I'm ready to use this. This is a little fab station now instead of just a fixture table. It is a whole station to where I can do anything and everything I want all in one and move it out of the way when I don't need it. So yeah, so appreciate you joining into another episode of 251 Designs, and until next time.